Welcome to Two Angry Men, the newest podcast with Los Angeles Magazine's own Mark Geragos and TMZ's Harvey Levin, where the two get together and talk about the biggest legal stories of the day. Enjoy.
Are you saying that Michael Jackson molested Frank Cascio during the 1993 World Tour?
What is going to unfold is going to be explosive. I think it's going to blow a lot of people away.
Welcome to the Two Angry Men podcast. There is a gentleman who believes that the Michael Jackson estate is trying to silence him because he wants to talk about Michael Jackson crossing the line with him when he was little. And this man's advocate is my co-host. So, Mark, explain.
Okay, so this is, we have quite a few watchers, I guess, but rather than listeners on YouTube who are lawyers. If you take a look at what the Michael Jackson estate, the legal gambit they have engaged in, it's like a lesson, I guess, for lack of a better term. They filed a petition preemptively to compel arbitration in a case that was already in arbitration, which I think, it's almost inexplicable, that made public something that they had been trying for 6 years or longer to not be public. Do you want to give a little background? You discovered this. I did not bring this to you. I don't know how you discovered it, but well, actually I do. You troll's kind of a pejorative.
Terrible word.
Yes. Is mine a good one? Data mine?
We look at court filings. We look
And
at
you
court
saw
filings.
it. You saw a court filing. What did you see?
There's a gentleman by
As
the
if
name.
I didn't know.
There's a guy named Frank Cascio, and Frank Cascio was a longtime friend of Michael Jackson. He knew Michael Jackson when he was 5 years old, and they maintained a relationship through adulthood. And I remember covering Frank Cascio in the aftermath of Jackson's death when there were music rights disputes. And my recollection, and this is my hazy recollection, Mark, is that I think Michael Jackson may have even recorded songs at Frank Cascio's place, songs that were never released. That's my recollection. Anyway, Frank Cascio said, when a lot of the molestation allegations were made, that nothing untoward happened between him and Michael Jackson. And he was adamant about it, saying that Jackson never, ever crossed the line. His tune changed. And he recently has been making...
Tune changed well before, years ago, before I ever met him. And there are those who say it was in connection with the release of Leaving Netherland, which is interesting for a whole lot of reasons. But the fact is, and all of this is now public because of the estate and illegal gambit they took, what they have admitted now is they locked up Frank Cascio in a rights and likeness agreement a number of years ago and paid a whole lot of money for rights and likeness of Frank Cascio. You have that petition there, Harvey?
I don't have the petition here. My recollection, Mark, I've got some notes here. It was $3.3 million they paid him. And
yeah, for Frank Cascio's rights and likeness.
His life rights, right. Now, we should say, Frank Cascio started making allegations against Michael Jackson, and the estate decided to do what I think you believe was a preemptive move by suing Frank Cascio, saying essentially he was trying to extort the estate by making claims that Michael Jackson engaged in inappropriate sexual conduct toward Frank Cascio, and that
there's only one problem. The estate paid and did it under life rights. You know what my theory is? This is my theory. There was a probate court, right? And when Michael Jackson died, and if you were settling matters that were non-life rights, because obviously the estate is doing things to promote Michael's, I guess the supposed rights, they wouldn't have to report that to the probate court. So if you had something that was untoward that you were trying to keep out of probate court and keep away from the beneficiaries of the estate, how would you do it? Hypothetically, you would do it by constructing a life rights agreement, paying large sums of money to somebody whose life rights you didn't need, and then try to keep that out of the beneficiary's knowledge.
So
And
what? So translation, you say that the estate went to Frank Cascio, gave him $3.3 million, called it life rights, but they were actually buying his silence so he wouldn't make molestation claims against the estate.
well, I'm not going to say anything except look at the facts.
Well, that's
The
where I want
and
to
the
that's where I want to I
Yeah,
want to probe here because there's
yeah,
something a little weird about this.
right.
Maybe weird is too strong a word, but there are two.
Yeah, I don't think, I think weird is too tame a word.
Well, let
I
let
mean, by the way, let me just give you this also. The there is, against this backdrop, there is a, what do they call it? A biopic
right. It's
that
coming out.
supposed that
It's
was,
coming
yeah,
out.
it was coming out. It was supposed to come out this year. It got kicked into next year. Well, guess why that got kicked into next year? Um, they had a problem in that the left hand apparently didn't know what the right hand was doing, and there apparently, a guy by the name of John Branca.
Yes,
You ever heard of John Branca?
I know John
Who's
Branca.
been right and has been in and out of the estate in Michael's life for decades. Do you know the firm that John Branca is with?
Yes,
Yeah, it's a very well-known
Zifrin
deal
Brittenham.
maker,
Yes.
Zifrin. Right. Do you know who Kenny Zifrin and that firm also represents?
Who?
The players making the Michael movie. So the left hand is negotiating, making representations in regards to the movie. Apparently, that's the scuttlebutt I hear. I don't have any inside information. It's just my kind of gleaning from the outside here. And so you've got a law firm that, on one hand, is cutting deals for a movie and potentially making representations. On the other hand, down the hallway, they got John Branca, who's apparently buying life rights, and apparently on the somewhere else you've got a probate court and you got beneficiaries who might not even know what the heck is going on. Sure seems like there's a lot to unpack here legally and ethically.
I don't want to get sidetracked, but
I know you don't want to get
well,
sidetracked.
no. I don't see a problem that a law firm could represent producers and the estate. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, what if they're making different representations to the producers while they're doing payoffs for life rights, and avoiding the estate? That's
But
or avoiding
what would
telling the
what would
beneficiaries.
the producers
Well, if
have?
the producers had a narrative about the film,
Oh, come
and
on.
if that
You
narrative,
know the estate is controlling the story. I mean,
do
that
you
that's
the
clearly
the
the case.
estates the estates
The estate
lawyers are,
is
yeah.
the
Who
estate.
do the estates lawyers work
Well, the
for the
estate's lawyer.
beneficiaries?
Right, but the beneficiary is are the people who get money from the Michael Jackson Trust, which are Michael Jackson's kids. So,
Right. Do you think the kids should know what the estate is doing, or conceivably should have
oh
some
God, we're getting so
awareness?
sidetracked. No, it's the kids are the beneficiary of the money, and the
Mhm.
estate is the one that's controlling the story, and we knew that. So I don't think that. Look, the point I was about to make is
Yes.
that
Yes.
James
I'm gonna,
James
yes.
Safecheck, and Wade Robeson are the two guys who have active lawsuits against the estate right now. Both of these guys are claiming that when they were kids, Michael Jackson molested them. They are suing for a total, they've combined their lawsuits. They're suing for a total of $400 million. And right now, that trial is set for November of next year. So these are active lawsuits. The difference between
By the way, do you know where that case is pending?
I thought it was, for some reason I want to say federal. That
No, it's state court. And guess what? The Michael Jackson estate, they exercised what's called a peremptory challenge,
against
where
the
you
judge.
can challenge against another judge. Guess, and then Casio did. And guess where that case is now? Guess where the Casio case is now?
Same judge.
Same judge, same courtroom.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
I
but
mean, it
let me
is.
tell you
But
why.
hold on, I'm going to tell you.
I'm just
I know
trying. Let
you
me
keep
finish.
saying this
No, no,
as a
but I just want to
sidetrack
finish my point.
because,
I just want to finish my
okay,
point
please.
that
Yes.
SafeCheck and Wade Robeson both are very specific in their lawsuits about what they say Michael Jackson did. I mean, they are very specific about oral sex, various other acts, very specific. What's going on, as far as I can see, with, and we should say that I know one of the things you're trying to do because he signed this NDA, you're trying to basically blow it up and say, look, it's invalid, that this should be tried in a public court. So I know you're at that point right now. But as far as I know, the only thing that Frank Cascio has been saying on the record is pretty vague about that an intimate relationship. He's never been specific like Wade Robeson and James Safecheck. And I don't quite understand why, because when you look at the Jordan Chandler case, when you look at I think it was Francia, when you look at Safecheck, when you look at Robeson, they're very, very specific. And Frank Cascio is very vague.
Yeah, well, and I don't know that any of the others other than Jordy Chandler were ever paid prior. I don't know that anybody's ever been paid
Well,
for their
Jordan
life
Chandler.
rights
Oh,
prior.
right,
Well,
right,
yeah,
right.
prior. We're talking about preemptively. That's what, and like I said, I'm walking a line here as to they're the ones, the estate is the one who decided to go public
By
because
suing Frank
if you
Cascio for extortion.
yeah, well, they didn't do it for extortion. What they did is presumably to compel an arbitration that he was already in, which was private. So they were worried.
I thought
They were worried it was
July
going
of
to,
this year, I thought it was for extortion, Mark.
yeah, no, that wasn't for extortion. They did it for to compel arbitration. The arbitration is what they're claiming. And by the way, I'll also get into the weeds for the lawyers who are watching. Everything in that,
Wait a minute.
or much of it,
Wait a
yeah.
minute. Wait a minute.
Take a look at the
I
petition.
am,
This is
and
why you should. Okay.
I can tell you because I summarized it. The petition
Mhm.
accuses Casio of making up explosive child abuse allegations in a reported $213 million extortion attempt. I mean, that's what it
Correct.
says.
And that's
Well,
what
it's
he's
extortion.
saying, but
I mean, that's extortion, Mark.
that's not what he sued for. He sued to compel arbitration. The estate sued to keep him in an arbitration that he was already in.
And
The estate was worried that this would get out. The estate was worried that, in fact, what would happen is that he would sue and he would reveal things that they had preemptively paid to try to keep quiet, which, by the way, there is a law in the state of California that says you can't do that.
I understand that if the law involves child abuse, and I get that.
Yeah.
Th- they're making
Why
an
would you
extortion.
think?
They are making
Right.
an extortion allegation against
There's a
Frank
reason
Cascio.
that there's a reason for that. Why do you think that would be, Harvey?
Well, I think you're, according. Look, I don't know.
Why do you?
I
Why would
wasn't
you
there.
make? Why would you make the claim of extortion of somebody who you already years ago paid millions of dollars to for their life rights? You can't be that naive.
Well, I mean, what you're saying is it was a ruse, and that it had nothing to do with life rights because they didn't want his life rights. What they wanted was
Right.
his
And by the
silence.
way, right. And by the way, who's the first person who would be deposed in an arbitration on this so-called thing are the beneficiaries. What are the first questions the beneficiaries going to confess. By the way, did
See,
you know that
I'm not.
the
I just don't buy
I
that.
know you don't.
No,
I
because
know
I know
you don't.
I
But I
followed
have.
I followed this
Harvey,
case from the very beginning. The beneficial.
you're gonna push me to revealing yet another connection, which I don't
I'm
want to
gonna
do.
then I'm gonna push you. But I want to say
Okay,
I hold on.
I will push, but the
Okay.
connection involves. Do you want to confess?
No. Look.
Do you
Yeah.
want to confess?
I mean, look. I will tell you, and I have never talked to him about this. That Ken
Right.
Ziffrin is my lawyer. But
There you go.
I've
So
not.
I
But
wasn't
hold
gonna
on. But I have not.
wasn't
I
gonna
have not.
dime
I
you
have
out,
never
but
talked to Ken
Ken
about this.
Ziffrin. Okay,
You,
but Ken
you,
Ziffrin's
you,
firm is who?
it's
Who's Ken Ziffrin's firm? Let's go
John
back.
Branca represents the estate and
Exactly.
has.
And who else does he represent?
You say the producers. I have no idea.
Well,
He
he
doesn't
also
represent the
represents
benefit.
you.
John Branca does not represent me.
No, but his firm
He,
does.
Mark, don't. You're confusing things. John Branca
I
does not.
understand you.
John Branca
I,
does not represent me.
does Kenny Ziffrin?
Yes, but
Okay. Does Kenny Ziffrin represent? I don't know. You
can I
tell me.
make? Can I
Does
make
he
my point?
represent
Can I
the
make
people
my
who are
point?
making the movie? Does he represent those people?
Yes. So
Okay.
and
If he
and
does,
to that I
you're
say, so
telling me
what?
you don't see. I
No,
understand.
I
You
think you're
say so
wrong.
what?
I think you're
Okay.
absolutely wrong. That
That's what lawsuits are made for.
I followed this from the very beginning.
The
And
movie itself?
no, I followed the estate from the very beginning.
Okay. Got it.
And I will tell you, and there's nothing to do with the movie or anything else. When the estate was established, there was a huge deal over who are the beneficiaries. Is Catherine the mother? Does she share in it? Do the siblings share in it? And they were doing all sorts of things, and they were paying the mother's expenses. So they were basically trying to balance everything. But through it all, what came out is this: that the kids don't have any power in deciding what the estate should do to make money. That it is the estate's power to do this. The estate doesn't have to report to the kids. The only recourse the kids have is if the estate starts to squander money in a way where they can go to the judge saying they're not acting responsibly. But there is not a disclosure requirement of where the estate has to go to Prince or any of the other kids and say, oh, we want to do this. Are you okay with it? The kids are the beneficiaries of what the estate does, but the estate does not answer to the kids. And I know that because I followed this from the very beginning.
Right. Unless what?
Unless there's some squandering. And here's the problem. Michael Jackson was in debt. He was on the verge of bankruptcy when he died. The estate, the last time I looked, was flirting with $1 billion. So they made a fortune. So there's no way
the kids are with $1 billion.
There's no way the kids are going to argue that the estate has squandered money. They've made it's one of the most successful estates ever, post-death, ever.
Yeah, but I have a question for you. When an enterprise engages in activity in order to make money, do you get a free pass on everything you do?
Well, I don't know what that means.
Well, you said because the estate went from being underwater to being worth $1 billion. How do you get there? You do certain things, you monetize certain things,
right?
Or you do a biopic, or
right.
You do licensing deals, things like that.
The Vegas show, yeah.
Vegas show, exactly. If you're doing those things, and along the way, you have to curate and do things that are unseemly or unsavory, you're saying that's fine as long as you're making money?
Well, no, but what are you talking about?
Well, what are you
tell me? You tell me. What do you? I don't know. I'm not defending.
I'm telling you.
I can tell you this: John Branca has been angry at me and at TMZ numerous times for stories we've done about the estate. So I'm not here defending the estate. I'm asking you, I'm
asking you, why would they pay Frank Cascio, but for some other motivation for his life?
Listen,
what do you think?
I am Okay, I will tell you what I think. First of all, I
Okay.
have no idea what happened here because he has never been specific. I have no idea. I'm not saying Frank Cascio is telling the truth. I'm not saying Frank Cascio is a liar. I don't know. Why would the estate do it? I'll just give you my opinion is whether what he's saying is true or not true. It would be damaging to the estate to deal with this in the public eye. And the estate is saying, we don't want a lawsuit, so we will, make a deal with him and we'll call it life rights and he won't talk, he'll get money and we all walk away from each other. That's the way I see it. I have no
Okay.
idea. And by
Did
the
you
way,
also see the public filings that said that not only was he not threatening to sue, but he didn't even have a lawyer at the time?
see, I
Did
don't
you notice
understand
that?
that. He was an adult then, and
Correct.
there was a lot that came out, in this whole saga. I remember, I don't remember why, but I remember talking to Frank Cascio, long before any of these allegations surfaced when we were doing just stories. And for some reason, it has to do with Michael's music, I think. And my memory is just really hazy, but I know, Mark, was he in New Jersey? I don't
Mhm.
know. Oh, then
Yeah.
this is the guy that my recollection is that Jackson recorded music in his attic or something like that, that he actually recorded there and that he was working very closely with Michael. And I remember, I think we talked to him right around the time they had the trial in Santa Maria. And and I think his name came up and we were talking to him then. But I
But
remember having interactions with Frank back then.
You've got a very good memory. Got a very good memory. What is going to unfold is going to be explosive, is going to be once a judge rules on this. I think it's going to blow a lot of people away. It certainly is something I never saw coming and can't believe. And I will go back once again to, I know you don't quite see it, but it's going to unfold because I think as soon as a couple of the kids see this and realize what actually happened, I think a light bulb is going to go off. I think that a lot of people are going to ask a lot of questions about what was really transpiring here.
So can I again test my memory here?
Yeah, so far you've been spot on.
I believe that Frank Cascio and maybe one or two of his siblings went on tour with either the mother, the father, his mother, father, or both of them. I think the father on Michael's 1993 world tour. And in the middle of the tour, the father had to go home to the mother and he had business at home. And Michael said, leave Frank and and the other kids there. They'll travel with me. So the kids traveled with Michael for the rest of the tour without the parents there, I believe. Am I remembering this
You're
right?
um you've got an amazing memory at your
Oh,
at this
okay, you don't
stage
have
in
to
your
do it.
life. I
Stop
didn't
the
do I just
shit.
said at
I
this
am
stage.
so
I
sick of
told
hearing
somebody
this.
today how you
Oh,
have mellowed, how you've mellowed. It's a wonderful chapter in your life. I celebrate it.
oh my God. Why is everything so backhanded with you? I'm
It
serious.
isn't. I'm
It is
just
so
telling you.
backhanded.
I I also said I joined Bill Maher when I said that it's been my friendship with you has been one of the great blessings of this chapter of my life. I
of
can
the
say that. What does it matter?
of the very
I
end of
didn't.
our lives.
I didn't say the
Oh
end
my
of our lives.
God.
You seem to be very
Yeah,
touchy
because my whole
about your.
staff has been on me about me being ancient all day long, and
Why?
somebody
What
like
provoked it today?
just it's Friday, it's doesn't
Okay, but I have a question completely off topic because I didn't know this a
we
week
need to get
ago.
back on
I
topic.
I will get back on topic in a second. What is this term 6'7"? Where the kids go 6'7"? Do you know what this is?
Yeah, and I've forgotten that one. There yes, and
I just don't. I don't
I'm
get
not
it.
I'm not
I would say.
hey
I,
guys, 6 7,
what is six
help me
seven?
out.
Maybe they're too old.
highlight reels or something. It's irrelevant. Why are we
Okay.
getting off topic here? So anyway,
Because I already crossed the line
no, you
with
didn't.
you, and
I know it.
apologize.
Hey, everybody watching, here's Mark Geragos' game. That when you
Oh my God.
when you get too close to the truth, he will do anything to divert attention. He is Donald Trump. He is Donald
Oh
Trump.
my
And I'm
God.
telling you, Donald Trump took lessons from Mark Geragos. No, it's true. I'm on to something, and he doesn't want to talk about it. So he's talking about 6'7" and my
right,
age.
which you don't seem to know.
And
Well,
my
your age is not 6'7".
and I know Comey talking about 4'7".
No, it was 8'6",
8'6", 47, right?
8'6",
Okay. Well,
By the way,
back to the topic.
we're not-
Back to the topic
yes,
about
yes.
the tour.
But have
Are
you
you
read?
suggesting that Frank Cascio is going to claim that during the tour, when his dad wasn't there, that Michael Jackson molested him? Is that what you're saying?
All I'm going to say is once this agreement, so-called agreement that was done without lawyers, that we believe in the petition was done in contravention of California law, once that is undone, there is an unbelievable story to be told. That's as far as I'll go. Unlike
Why?
the estate,
Why?
because the estate, I think, has crossed a line.
Well, if they've
When
crossed the line, then
I-
just tell me. If they've crossed the line
Well,
and they've
I-
silenced him, tell me. Tell me.
You have well, if did you read the opposition to the petition that we filed?
Yeah, and you never got specific.
Well, because specifically, unlike the estate, who is trying to preemptively strike, we're not going guerrilla like they are. What we're doing is we squarely put it in front of a judge. We said, Judge, look at what they did. We are perfectly willing to adhere to the law, unlike what the estate did. And I'm hopeful that a judge rules accordingly. And when the judge rules accordingly, there will be a reckoning. And that reckoning is going to rock the estate. That's why I know that you don't want to follow it. I get that, that's even though
I don't
one
want
part
to
of the law
follow it.
firm.
What are you talking
Well,
about?
you don't want to follow what I'm talking about because it comes square back to your own lawyer. So, and his law firm.
Have you?
His law firm represents the estate. That law firm
You
is
don't
the
know
one.
what you're talking about. We have
Do they
done
represent you?
hundreds
Do
of
they
I don't care. We have
don't
done
conflate TMZ
no, hold on.
with you, because
I
the law firm
I have
represents
personally
the estate.
written written dozens, scores of stories about the estate, many of which were not flattering. So do not tell me that, because it's
But
not
I can
true.
tell you this. The actions of the estate and that law firm are going to be front and center.
Okay,
They already are.
I'm not arguing.
Right?
I am not arguing
And
that
what
with
are
you.
you telling?
What
So
what I'm
do
trying
you
to figure
think-
out is, are you just tell me? Are you saying? I'm not judging it. I'm asking it. Are you saying that that Michael Jackson molested Frank Cascio during the 1993 World Tour?
I understand you want me to go there, but he is.
That has nothing to
under
do with the
an
estate or anything like
agreement.
that. Just
It has, well, it does have something to do with the estate. Just follow me for a second. He signed an
the
agreement.
NDA.
We have to get a judge to deal with, was that agreement lawful? And if it wasn't lawful, then the next thing we do is talk in court, and appropriately. If it is lawful, then we go back to an arbitration, which, by the way, he never left. It was the estate who made this public, not Frank Cascio. Frank Cascio was perfectly willing to move forward.
Okay. You say that the California law prohibits NDAs when the NDA involves child abuse.
Correct.
So
that was a recent law that I want to say 2019.
Okay. So if that's your allegation, then tell everybody, what is it?
Well, read, don't you have the petition in front of you? I even texted it to you
It's
this morning.
vague. It doesn't say.
Yes, because I don't want to give them anything to argue about other than what the law is. The law is you can't have an agreement that basically tries to bury these kinds of allegations. And so a judge is going to have to decide that.
I get it, but if you guys are confident that and you've intimated it anyway that this
Right.
is the
I haven't
case,
intimated it. I've had to say it
that
falls squarely within this
okay,
code
so
section.
since you've said it, I'm just asking you, am I right about the time frame? You've already said it.
What
Is
is
it
the time frame? I haven't said anything about the time
I
frame.
know you haven't, but
All
the
I've
time frame
said,
is you've already
all I've
said there
said
was a
is all I've said is that you've got a situation here where the estate has apparently thought it was worth millions of dollars to buy his silence,
I get it. I get it.
right?
Okay.
But why would that be? Because he was recording in the attic in his New Jersey house?
I get it. That
No,
that
would
that
you pay millions of dollars so that nobody would talk about the fact that you were recording in the garage or in the attic?
Mark, I am
I'm
not
asking.
I I'm going to answer it. I'm
TMZ.
going to answer it.
Okay,
I'm going to
thank
answer
you.
it. There are two reasons, and again, I have, believe me, John Branca has made many angry calls to me over stories we've done in the estate. So that said, because we covered Wade Robson, we've covered James Safecheck extensively, extensively. Okay, I don't have a dog in the fight, but there are two reasons why people settle. One, to bury the truth. And the second is because even an allegation becomes so damaging and so expensive to defend that it is cheaper and more, just smarter to settle
A
it. And
cost
you and
a
you know
cost
and
benefit
you know that there
analysis.
are two different
Correct.
reasons why people settle. So
By the
you
way,
can't.
people
So
don't.
you're jumping to a conclusion that it's one, and I don't know. Maybe you're right, but there are two reasons, Mark. Because
Do you?
you're in that
I'm
game.
in.
You're
I'm
in
in
that
that
game,
game,
Mark.
and I will tell you, Harvey, nobody's writing millions of dollar checks because
$3 million,
for
Mark.
it's a well, Harvey. You once again, you'll have to wait because it wasn't just that.
But you will concede that there are
Concede.
two reasons why people settle lawsuits.
There's always we call that a nuisance value. I've
Right.
never known a nuisance value of over of 7 or 8 figures.
I
I haven't
have.
found.
We've covered it. Are you kidding me?
Name one.
I'm not going to, because then I'm going to get into the facts of a case. You don't think how much does it cost, Mark, to defend a civil lawsuit? How much does it cost?
It depends. LA Superior Court, anywhere's from a half a million to $1 million.
You ever heard of $5 million in legal fees in cases?
Oh yes, I can tell you the law firms
I
off the top of it. You
maybe
and I both
all of
know.
them, like all of them. So you
I
don't
Not
play.
if it's an insurance defense firm.
You are
Are you
playing.
kidding me?
You
They'll
are playing
grind the bills.
games.
Oh
Oh,
my God. You tell me, like I said, Harvey, I mean, that's one way to look at it, I suppose, if you're naive and if you think the other, if you want to take that position or give it the best
I'm
spin.
not
I
taking the
will,
position. You just said to me,
I'm
there's only
just
one
telling
reason, and I
you,
said there are two.
there's only one reason. You and I both know.
Well, then tell me, was it the '93 tour you're
I
alleging?
will, I will tell you that once the judge rules, we'll be back and you'll see whether you were Nostradamus or not.
Do you think I'm going to report it, Mark? Tell me the
I
truth.
think I think you will. I think you will. Well, now that you have
Oh, you think you
confessed
cornered me,
all.
and that's why I'm going
I
to.
don't. I'm just gonna say
Hey, why don't you
You went into this podcast not wanting to, and I
really?
understand that. But you
Who
ended up fessing up, and
really?
I applaud you for
Okay,
that.
so let's
I
talk.
do applaud
Let's
you.
talk about our first phone call this morning. Who
Yes,
suggested we talk about this? You?
you wasn't
Why
me.
would I suggest it to you if I didn't want to talk about it?
Do you want to know why?
Yeah, why?
Do you really want to go
Yeah,
there?
why
You're
do you think
asking
I'd
me.
suggest it?
Because at the time you didn't realize
Yes,
that
I did. I know
you, di-
exactly who
you
represents the
didn't
estate.
realize.
Dude, You're
Yes, you knew who represents the estate. You didn't
Yes,
understand
I
or fully
did. It's
comprehend
irrelevant.
the bio.
It's
Well, you can say
Well,
that
I think.
all you want.
By the way, I think that
Hey,
is
yes.
irrelevant. The Frank Cascio stuff, I'm really interested in. I think you're wrong on the other. I think you're just wrong on the other.
Well, I'm going. Will you admit when a certain person hears this and goes public, then and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. We'll come back and we'll revisit it.
Well, I
That's all I'll
admit
say.
that. Well, I admit that
Will you
if a
admit
certain
that
person,
if a
I don't know what
client
you're
of that
saying.
firm, if a client of that firm comes forward all of a sudden and says, "Wait a second here, I know exactly what Mark's talking about," then I'll come back and
Okay,
we'll talk about it.
that's
Okay,
fair. But
is
I
that
will.
fair enough?
But I will say that when it comes to the beneficiaries, you're wrong on that.
Yes.
You're wrong on that. That they don't
Well,
have they don't have the right to control what the estate does, nor does the
they
estate.
have they
Nor does.
have. So hold on. Are you telling me that if you characterize something such, I'm going to give you a hypothetical. If you know that you have to report back to a court on if a set of circumstances happen, and you know that that is an obligation, but instead you characterize the circumstances differently to avoid reporting back to the court, you think that's okay?
I'm
That's
not. By the
hypothetically.
way, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying there's not a duty to inform beneficiaries if you've made settlements. It's part of the normal course of what you do in the estate. Again,
I don't. That's where you and I will disagree.
okay. Why was
So I
this?
mean,
The,
it's a good legal point, but we'll disagree on that because I think there is a duty to disclose to the beneficiaries. I think there is a heightened duty and a fiduciary duty to report to the beneficiaries.
boy, you get personal. It's so interesting.
No,
No, no, no.
wait,
I'm just
how is
saying
that personal with
in
you?
the last 36 minutes, what
Yes,
I've
has that
noticed.
been 36? Because I was going to say it seems like it's only been 3 minutes.
Oh no, it's been 36 minutes. In the
And I
last.
haven't said anything about you other
Oh,
than,
are you kidding
disclosing
me?
disclosing
Oh, you're in the
connections.
pocket
I'm
of the
making
law. You're in the pocket of the law firm. You
I
won't do
didn't say
stories in the
you're in
law
the
firm.
pocket of me.
You're
I
old.
didn't
You're about to die. I mean, give me a
wow.
break.
Talk about your staff has really abused you today. Your PTSD, your PTMZD today. I've never seen anything quite like it. What has Anakin done to you today? Dang.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Harvey, I've got to go. I was late. I apologize.
I got it.
Thank you, as always. It's my favorite part of Friday and getting a little PTMZ.
Okay, I will talk to you.
Bye
See you
bye.
later.